Today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to use the MyTouchSmart Simple Set Wireless Timer System. This is available at Home Depot. This is also the indoor model, which comes with a receiver that has a two-pronged polarized plug. This unit can also be purchased with an outdoor plug pictured here, and this outdoor plug receiver has two three-pronged grounded plugs. What I like about this timer is that the wireless function works from the transmitter up to 100 feet. It's very simple to program. It has 3 factory presets and 1 custom preset, and it can be used with LEDs, CFLs, incandescents, halogen lamps, small appliances like fans, electronics, and Christmas tree lights. You can also add multiple receivers, whether they be indoor or outdoor. Just keep in mind that the way the timer works, it'll turn all the receivers on and off at the same time, should you add additional receivers. When you receive the unit, the first thing you want to do is pull a plastic tab from here, which will allow contact for the 3 AAA batteries that are included. Once the power is on, you'll use the down arrow or up arrow to set the current time. And you just hold down the arrows to set the appropriate time. Once the current time is set, you're ready to program. As I mentioned, this has 3 factory set default programs: evening, morning, and all night. To turn on each of these presets, you merely just press them. You'll see that the LED will come on. For the evening preset, it'll turn power onto the receiver from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. I press it again, I turn it off. The morning preset will turn power onto the receiver from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. And the all-night preset will turn power onto the receiver from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And you turn it on by pressing it once, or turn it off by pressing it again. To set a custom preset, you use the My On Time and the My Off Time buttons. So let's say I'm not going to use any of the factory presets. I want the on time to be set by pressing the on key, the My On Time key, and then using the arrows to select the time that I want it to come on. In this case, it's going to come on at 12:33 a.m. And then I'll select the My Off Time, and here I'll use the arrow keys to select the time that I want the timer to shut off. Now what's neat is you can use a combination of these factory presets with the custom presets. So for example, I need to turn these off. There we go. If, say for example, I want to set the evening preset, but I don't want it to come on at 5 p.m. as the factory default is set. I want it to come on at 6 p.m. So what I would do is I'd turn on the evening preset, and then I would turn on the My On Time, and I would set it to come on, let's say it's 6:15 p.m. So now, using these two together, in this case, 6:24 is when it'll turn on, and it'll turn off based on the evening preset at 12 a.m. Say for example, I don't want, I want it to come on at 5 p.m., but I don't want it to turn off at 12 a.m. I want it to shut off sooner. Well, if I press that again, I need to turn off the My Time. But if I press it again, now it's going to come on at 5 p.m. and I'll set the custom off time by using the My Off Time button. In this case, it is now going to shut off at 10:15. So it'll come on at 5 p.m., shut off at 10:15. Okay? So one of the things I don't like about this timer is that it's super simple. So for example, it's not overly flexible in that it's a daily timer. So I couldn't program it, say, for different days of the week. So if I'm going away over the weekend, and I use any of these buttons or even the custom, it's going to come on both Saturday and Sunday. I couldn't say, well, just turn on Saturday, but not on Sunday. It doesn't work like that. Or for example, if I only wanted to come on during the week, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, I don't have that flexibility. It's going to come on Monday through Sunday, unless I shut it off myself. Okay. Now, another function you can use to program the timer is, say you're leaving the house, but you want the lights to stay on for 3 hours. Well, you can use the My Countdown button, in which case, actually I'm going to shut off these programs that I previously set. Okay. Okay. You can use the My Countdown button to turn the lights on, or to keep the lights on from anywhere from 1 minute to 24 hours. So if I press the My Countdown button, and you'll see the little tab, this is 1 hour. 1 hour, 1 minute. And I can use the arrow keys to select how long I want the lights to stay on. So again, it's counting down from the amount of time that you set. So in this case, when I leave the house, using the countdown function, the lights will stay on for 2.5 hours and then shut off. Another cool feature about this is this transmitter is merely a remote control. So if I'm sitting on the couch and I want to turn power on to all of my receivers, I literally just hit on and the power will come on. And then if I decide I'm going to bed and I want to turn everything off, I just hit the off key. Now if I had any of these programs set, the timer will still continue to follow my programmed times. Other functions are this little button here, which is just the backlight button, which will turn the backlight on and show you what is on, what is off, or what settings have been selected. So for example, if I just select evening, with the backlight on, it'll tell me that this preset is active. And then here is a reset button, which you just use a paper clip and you hold it down, which will reset the entire unit. And I think that's it. So I hope this review has been helpful, and if it has, please do me a favor and like it. And thanks so much for watching.